Alright, so I took a break from playing Resident Evil 9 to try the Marathon Beta, and after about 7 hours with it, I can honestly say I really don't like this game, and that sucks to admit, because I grew up on Bungie. Me and my friends have been playing games for about 15 years now. Halo 3, Halo Reach, I played all of them and I loved it. Halo 3 is still one of my favorite games ever. That era of Bungie didn't chase trends, they set them. They understood pacing, clarity, map design, and how to make every fight feel meaningful. You know, I can still name every single Halo 3 map off the top of my head. They were just that good. And that's really saying something because Halo 3 came out in what, 2007? This doesn't feel like that Bungie. And I know technically it's not the same studio, it doesn't feel like the Bungie that made Halo back in the day. The identity feels completely different. And I went into Marathon completely blind. I didn't watch any trailers, by the way. I didn't watch breakdowns, I just jumped in with my friends to see what is Marathon all about. And almost immediately, the first thing that hit me was the visuals. This game is the only game I've ever played in my whole entire life that gave me the worst fucking eye strain I've ever had. The colors are insanely aggressive. Neon greens, bright reds, super high contrast lighting. And then you've got the UI layered on top of it. Numbers, icons, symbols constantly popping up in your face. Half the time I wasn't even focused on the match. I was trying to understand, what the fuck am I even looking at? It feels super cluttered and way over designed. Some areas honestly look like a messy Halo 5 Guardians Forge map, where someone just kept on placing objects because it looked cool. And for a game that clearly wants new players to get invested, it feels just weirdly hostile right from the jump. I know people are gonna say it's an extraction shooter, it takes time and patience to learn the game. And that's completely fair. Every game needs time and patience to learn, but a good design teaches you naturally. In Halo, you learn the game by playing. In Marathon, it feels like you're constantly reading pop-ups, checking menus, trying to understand the system instead of just flowing with the gameplay. Basically what I'm trying to say here, guys, is the game feels like homework instead of an immersive experience. And what's crazy is that the original Marathon was known for deep storytelling. It had lore, terminals, AI characters. With Marathon, you kind of wanted to know more. What is this universe about? Who am I fighting? This new version of Marathon has environmental storytelling too, but I genuinely have no clue what it's trying to tell me. There are weird symbols, corporate slogans, weird architecture everywhere, and stolen art. But none of it connects in a meaningful way, or at least it doesn't connect to me at all. And because you're always worried about getting jumped by another squad, you don't even have time to slow down and absorb any of this. Instead of mystery, it just feels like random noise placed around the fucking map. Now let's get into the gunplay. It is pretty interesting, because when you actually get into a fight, it feels good. The movement is smooth, the guns feel responsive, and you can definitely feel some of that Halo Combat Evolved DNA when you're playing the game. The designs of the guns actually do look pretty cool, apart from, why does my scope look like a fucking QR code? You know, there's also hints of Destiny in the weapon handling too, which is quite a nice touch. Bungie still knows how to make guns feel pretty good. The problem is that there's just not enough fighting. Me and my friends just spent way too much time running around looting that we were just genuinely bored with the game. And like I said before, we've been playing games for 15 years. We've played literally everything. We really don't get bored easily, but there were just long stretches in Marathon where nothing was happening. Then you get into one quick chaotic fight, and then silence again. Because it's an extraction shooter, you're almost encouraged to avoid fights unless, you know, you're sure that you're actually going to win them. So the best feeling part of the game, the shooting, is something you barely engage with. That loop just doesn't work for me. And it might for you, but for me, it doesn't. I've seen people absolutely praise and glaze this game like it's revolutionary. It's so confusing to me. I'm not saying that people can't have their opinion, and I'm not saying that people can't enjoy it, but this level of hype feels so disconnected from what I experienced. It took me forever to actually get into a match. And if I'm being completely honest, I was able to get into a match faster on Batman Arkham Origins when that game came out than I did with Marathon. And if you played that game back in the day, you know finding a match in Batman Arkham Origins did take forever. And from what I've seen online, player activity doesn't seem to be exploding. I've actually seen numbers drop. You know, it doesn't feel surprising. To me, this feels like Bungie is chasing the extraction trend instead of leading the industry like they used to. The old Bungie created moments that defined console shooters. This feels like a studio trying to fit into a crowded market rather than redefining it. Basically, to summarize, I really just wanted to love this game. But all I was thinking about was, when can I go back to playing Resident Evil? Marathon is not worth your money, at least not in this state. It's not worth $40 or $34.99 in the UK. And all I'm gonna say is, spend that money on Resident Evil or buy Crimson Desert that's coming out soon. You will have a far better time with those games than you will with this, I'm sure of it. But I don't want to be entirely gloomy with this. I want Marathon to succeed, but for right now, it's just below quality. But who knows, maybe Marathon will come back in future seasons and really blow us all away. Thank you so much for listening if you made it this far. I really appreciate all the support, and please drop a comment below and tell me what you actually think of Marathon. Bye guys.